find out what it is that you want. Find out what it is. You say yes to something, but your body says no, and then you overstep it. But you have this feeling, this gut feeling, and you don't trust it. And then go back to this. And just find out what is important in your life and let all the other things go. And I mean, really, I'm talking about physical things like stuff that we buy, and also people or everything. Just let it go. What not serves you anymore, just let it go.
Well, welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, the podcast where science meets wisdom. I'm Brittany Ford, holistic nutritionist, biohacker, and mom. And for years, I struggled with gut issues, hormonal imbalances, and the exhaustion of motherhood while running a business. Biohacking and functional medicine became my way back to clarity, vitality, and trust in my body. And that's why I'm here, not just to share information, but to share the practices and perspectives that truly shifted my health and my life. Each week, I bring you science-backed tools, honest conversations, and rituals I live myself so you can return to your own body's wisdom and create longevity on your own terms. Because your body already knows this is just the space to remember. Hello, and welcome to today's podcast episode. I'm so excited that you are joining me today. If you are listening when this comes out, I am on day 2 of my masterclass on feminine longevity, how returning to yourself really is the ultimate power, is the ultimate thing to do in order to extend your longevity and your health. And day 1 was beautiful. The group of women there were really special. A couple of them I know personally, and it was just amazing to see some familiar faces and really go deep within an hour. It was pretty cool to just talk about health and wellness and then get to this point of wellness only goes so far and really explore what that means. So I might have these replays available publicly. I'm not sure yet, but if you are listening to this and you're coming to day 2 today on Thursday, I cannot wait. And I am just grateful that you are listening and being a part of this community. So today's podcast episode, I got to sit down with Silvia Resnik, who is a certified coach with a master's degree in business economics. And she used to be a teacher, and she splits her time between Tanzania and Austria. And we really talk about, oh my gosh, so many different things. A lot of lifestyle in this episode, a lot of in my masterclass, living in alignment. And we talk about freedom and fulfillment and purpose and how that actually really interplays with your health and your success. And it was a really eye-opening podcast episode for sure. I really like the work that Silvia is doing. So she works really close with the Maasai tribe in Tanzania, who I've actually met some of them, which is such a small world. I was in Tanzania in 2014, I think it was. Wow. Yeah, I think it was 2014, 2015. And I met some of the Maasai tribe there, and they are filled with life and love and happiness. And we talk about that and how having less can create so much more happiness than maybe what we think. And there was just so much to say really about a more simple life and what that can mean for us. So she's also starting a foundation to really support the people there, support women and children. And we talk about that in her different charitable initiatives. So this episode was really cool, close to my heart. I have personally been to the places we talked about. So that was really cool to kind of go through. And I hope you get something out of this episode. Things are changing around here, so you're going to see some new things popping up very soon. I encourage you to follow me over on Instagram at biohackingbrittany, and this is kind of where I share everything. I am launching my community. I'm doing masterclasses. The podcast is changing. I'm doing private podcast episodes. I'm doing all new content. I'm vlogging on TikTok. Everything is new this year. There's this new energy in 2026. We're really shifting things. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you are watching. I appreciate it. And I will catch you soon for another episode. We put out episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, bye for now. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am just going to move my mic a little bit. I am so excited. This is the first recording of 2026, And if you're watching on Spotify or on YouTube, I am in Nicaragua right now. My beautiful background of my palm trees. And we arrived safely yesterday, thank goodness. But today I am talking with Silvia Resnik, who is located in Austria. And we are going to talk about all the work that she does with women. And I will we'll kind of do a bit of a run through of the work that you do. But before we hopped on the mic and before we hit record, you were telling me that you are actually diving into microdosing and psilocybin and mushrooms. So I definitely want to talk about that. But first of all, Silvia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and a Happy New Year, everyone. And for you too, of course.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Okay, I would love to kind of start with how you developed your women's coaching practice in the first place. Like, can you kind of take us back, and why did you think this is something that I think is necessary and needed in the world?
So actually, I was always coaching basically, because I was a kindergarten teacher, then I was in human resource management, and those are basically two areas where you're doing the coaching, because you guide people, you guide the children, you guide your employees. You have to find out what's their strength and how can I guide them and help them so they can develop in the best way. But I didn't know it back then, and only when I had my awakenings. So and especially the one in Tanzania, where I met the Maasai, and I suddenly realized that we in the Western world, we're living in such a strange way. We forget, we don't reconnect to ourselves, so we forget what's really important in life. And so that was the point actually where I had my aha moment, where I decided I want to become a coach. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm kind of going through something similar myself right now. I feel like, and I think a lot of people are in terms of health, even. It's like there's so much we can do to become healthier, but if we're not connected to ourselves, does any of it even really matter? Is kind of the question that I'm asking. So when you say like you help women connect to themselves, like what do you specifically mean by that?
So what I mean, now I'm talking before these new awakening things with the psychedelics, although it's not really that far away from what I want to do in the future. So I saw that the women in the West, they have so many roles to fulfill. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a friend, you're this. And everyone is having expectations, and you put on all the hats. And especially we women, we tend to people please, and we tend to overstep our boundaries. Also, something that we do a lot is we don't love ourselves, so we feel so insecure deep inside, really. And that's when we let other people to guide our lives. We do what everyone else wants. And then I have clients, and when I ask them, what is it that you want? And then they are like, I don't know. So, and this is something where I think this is reconnecting. Find out what it is that you want. Find out what it is that you feel. You know, when you have this. I mean, you know, maybe what I mean. You say yes to something, but your body says no, and then you overstep it. But you have this feeling, this gut feeling, and you don't trust it. And then go back to this, and just find out what is important in your life and let all the other things go. And I mean, really, I'm talking about physical things like stuff that we buy, and also people or everything. Just let it go. What not serves you anymore, just let it go.
Yeah, I relate a lot to that. I think it's easy to get swept up in all of the things we need to do on our to-do lists. And also just like the superficial capitalism as well of like consuming things and buying things and and I feel that a lot, and it's been something I've been really digging into in the last couple of years of like where do I draw the line is something that I question, because there are things that you need to get done in a day, like as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and there are things that you might need to say yes to, even though you don't want to do it. So like, how do you balance that of like, I need to clean this kitchen because we need to make dinner, but my body's saying, hey, take a rest. I just want to lie on the couch. So like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do again with this kind of balance, because also my life, sometimes it's very busy and very stressful. I mean, December is horrible because their Christmas is coming. Everyone is so, oh my God, and the family, so everyone wants to see you. I have my family is far away, so everyone is somewhere, so you have to travel everywhere. And I know this is sometimes difficult, and even for me, but at one point you have to sit down, make a list, or go into yourself. I always recommend journaling and meditation for those kind of things, and find out what is important and what not. For example, okay, make a meal, that's very important, but the cleanup, either your partner can do it or it can wait, because who is judging you? Nobody's judging you, you know? And so just find the balance. What is necessary and what is just something I do for my ego, for other people, for those kind of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Like, does it actually need to happen right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I don't feel good in my body and I prefer to rest, can the dishes wait half an hour?
Of course, yeah.
Right? So that my stress levels come down, my cortisol comes down, and I'm in a better place.
Or it's also maybe, do I have the possibility of ordering something? Maybe I know, okay, there is this, favorite food place I like. They cook great food. It's healthy. I just get that, or something easy. And what I also find is, with energies, this is something that I observe in my whole environment here in Austria, especially. So something bad happens on the outside, and then they take this energy and run away with it, and blah 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 here and blah 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 there, and they are just full of these energies that are not theirs. They just took it, and they're angry, and they make more out of it. And I'm always like, look at it. Look at the things that happened. Can you change them? Is there something that you can change? And when you say no, there's nothing I can do because it's really something external, then just say, okay, I don't take it. It's yours. It's not mine. And just, draw this line. Don't take all the energies in, because that's not really helpful for you, because then you feel bad. You cannot sleep. You cannot this, that. And then who is it helping?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's perspective too, right? It's
Yeah.
like, if something bad happens, are you going to let that define you?
Yeah.
And yeah, like, what role did you play in that? What is the lesson that you can actually learn from that?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I always say. Take out those things that are important for you, things that you can maybe change, adapt for the future. But there are things like the weather. I cannot change the weather. It's just, okay, I have to take it. But if I go around, oh, the weather is shit, blah, 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 then it's my energy. My day is not good. But if I just take it as it is and make the best out of it, and this is something I've learned from the Maasai, because they have really a difficult life. And so it's just changed perspective, changed the way how you deal with it. Look, I always say, look at it like it's a ball. Okay, I look at it and I say, okay, yeah, I don't like it, but do I want my day to be, shit because of that? And then I say, no, I don't want. And so I give it out to somebody else, or I just leave it to the universe, whatever, And so don't take everything.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, a book I'm reading right now is actually called The Gap and the Gain, or The Gap versus the Gain. And it's essentially this concept of, like, it's so easy to fall in the gap and, like, see what we're missing and what's wrong, right? Like, the weather's really bad, it's cold, it's dark outside, I hate winter, like, all of it, versus the gain, and, like, flipping that of, like, when I come inside, I have a warm house. I have hot coffee, I have hot food, or I get to play in the snow with my kids. Or, like, how can we flip the whole narrative of, like, let's not focus on the negative, let's focus on the positive. And the moment you start to kind of see how quickly you fall in the gap and, like, you can pull yourself out of it, it feels so much better.
Yeah. And this is what I always say, it's your energy. And what is this sentence? Energy flow, your attention goes where your energy flows. And it's so true. And we can change it. We are not the victims. We have power. And I want to give the people the power back.
Yeah, exactly. And how do we not waste that energy? Because we all care so much about our energy, right? Like, we want to wake up out of bed, feel good, do all the things we want to get done in the day, but then we're spending so much mental energy complaining about things where, like you said, sometimes they're actually out of our control.
Yeah. And then it's a spiral because you focus on it and then you think about it and then it's getting worse and worse. And I know this from my depression. I had depression and I know there this spiral and with this depression thing you cannot get out of it really because people told me, yeah, be happy, be this, be that. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, where I have my switch here and now I'm happy and now I'm bad. Now, it doesn't work like that. But in general, a healthy person, somebody who doesn't have depression or somebody, you know, we can train our brain basically to just look at the positive things, yeah, or make the best out of it.
This episode is brought to you by Optimize Her, my women's biohacking retreat in Costa Rica, happening March 2nd to 7th, 2026. I am so excited, guys. This isn't just another yoga retreat. It's a 5-night, 6-day, science-backed health optimization woven into feminine restoration, designed specifically for women's bodies. We'll dive into functional medicine and longevity tools, experience healing sessions like sound baths and cacao ceremonies, and recalibrate with daily movement, spa rituals, and farm-to-table meals that support hormones, gut health, and vitality. It's not about fixing. It's about clearing the noise so you can actually tune into your body again. If you're ready for deep restoration and transformation, you can explore all the details in the show notes, and I would absolutely love to see you in Costa Rica. Yeah. I think a lot of moms feel that, like postpartum depression is very common.
Yeah.
Same with like postpartum anxiety as well. And just this sense of like, is this my life now? Right? Like, especially when you're deep in the trenches of motherhood of like diapers, naps, schedule, feeding, day in and day out. It's like Groundhog Day every single day. And I can understand how women, like, including myself, like can feel overwhelmed and stressed out of that. And then when you're in that mental state, it's so hard to actually step out and be like, oh, this is how I'm thinking, because you're just tired. You're exhausted. You actually don't have the energy. You don't have the perspective, but you don't have the energy to even change your perspective.
Exactly. And that's the tricky point. And that's what I say. I mean, with postpartum depression, it's also a hormonal thing. So your body gets flushed with all the hormones because after giving birth and the baby is here and it's crying and everything. And this is one part. And other, there are different reasons for depressions, anxiety, whatever. And I just feel like we have to understand the people more. Not everyone is the same, and give them time. And of course, I mean, showing them ways out, like for me, it was the psilocybin with the microdosing that helped me so much. Actually, I was at such a low point that I was thinking about quitting my life because I was like, I don't want to live like that any longer. And then I saw this TikTok video from this woman and she was talking about it. And then I was like, yeah, I mean, of course, they say it's drugs and whatever, but I try it because what do I have to lose? And then they helped me to get out, and it was so wonderful. And I'm so grateful for that because it was not a very funny time, to be honest, in my life. Yeah, so I understand that.
Yeah. So when you were experimenting with psilocybin, how often were you doing it, and what was the dosage?
Oh, it's a very small dosage. I mean, I'm very honest with you now. The first dosage I took was a small trip because I was researching it a lot, and then I found out that you can go deep down and find out what the root is of your depression. But I was also a little bit afraid. I didn't want, to lose my head and my mind. And so I was starting very slow, and I had some small insights, not really big. Then I started the microdosing, and after 3 weeks, I did a real trip. And this is when I had my awakening. So the microdose I can show you. Actually, it's not a lot. Oh, here it is. This is because it's very small, like this. And you don't feel nothing. A microdose, you shouldn't feel anything. But I felt it. So after 1 week, I realized, oh, I was smiling again, After 2 weeks, I realized, Oh, I didn't cry as much as before, because I used to start to cry when we were sitting at breakfast, and I started to cry because somebody said something. I don't know. And or I didn't get out of bed, those kind of things. And after 3 weeks, I was like, hey, I feel like actually I feel okay. I mean, not perfect, but okay. And it's been 2 months now and one trip, yeah. And I came to the root cause, yeah, of it.
Yeah. So are you doing it every single day, or like,
Yeah,
because sometimes there's protocols, right? Like there's 5 days on, 2 days off. There's all these different ways that you can do it.
I do it like I feel it. I mean, usually I take it every day, and then sometimes days I feel like, no, today I don't want, today I don't need. So it's basically again the intuition. I don't follow any protocol. I follow my intuition, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, I did some microdosing a while ago,
Yeah.
and actually did recently, and I was doing about between like 100 to 250 milligrams, like in between there.
I think it's the same, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was really good, and it was really helpful. And I actually would love to start doing it again more frequently, because
What
I
did
do
you
think there
feel?
is.
How did it affect
What did
you?
I feel? Um, this was before I got pregnant, so it was a couple of years ago. It helped me see a lot of patterns in my life that I actually wasn't aware of. A lot of actually like how I relate to men, and like these things that have happened with men in my life, and just kind of connecting the dots with my childhood and my dad and my brothers and things like that. That was very insightful.
Yeah.
Very insightful. And then combined with talk therapy, like I have a therapist where, I was having these insights, and I had the ability to talk to a professional about it. Like that really changed it for me. Like it was the combination of them that moved the needle the most for me, I would say.
Yeah, for me, it was a coach that I was talking about it, and yeah, it's so helpful. And for me, the bigger trip that helped me, that was the one that helped me to go to the root. Also in my childhood, I felt not seen, I felt not loved. So, and then I'm an alone born twin, so all this feeling of being guilty. I killed her maybe or whatever, which is stupid because she just vanished very early on in pregnancy. But I never understood this. How can I say that? This feeling of not being complete, not being wholesome, and this feeling of, yeah, I shouldn't be here, and I'm too much. I'm this. I'm that. Never enough. And I know where it's coming from. So it was in my childhood, and it came from my mom. Although I love my mom, and we have a very good relationship now. But as a child, you see things different. You don't understand why is the adult now saying no to something or whatever. So yeah, that was the root.
Wow, that's very profound. It's interesting as well, like how much of it goes back to childhood, of like these really early days where you have so much
Yeah.
conditioning. And as a parent now too, I think like, how am I messing up my kid? Like in 30 years, he's going to be in therapy. What is he going to be saying about me in therapy? Because I think no matter what, you can't do it perfectly. And
No.
you're either too strict, or you're too loose, or you don't have enough rules, or too many rules, or so we just do our best. But
Exactly.
I yeah, I definitely found there was this sense of like, when I was going through my own journey with it, of like going back to those early days, and like learning about my relationships with my dad, and like wanting his approval, and he wasn't around, and he was
Yeah.
working, and like all of these things. And now I'm married, and like you're like, oh, okay, like how is this the same thing I'm seeing with my husband? Or like just stuff like that, like really deep stuff. And psilocybin really gets you there. It does.
And the point is, we cannot make everything right. And as a child, you are so. I just have this example because my father was here today, and we were talking about this. I remember when I was 5 years old or something like that, or 6, they divorced. And so he picked me up from my mom, and we went to his place. And then he had a small accident. A car was hitting his car in the back. And then he said, oh my God, we have an accident. And I'm in the back, 6 years old, and all I heard before was, okay, car, death, accident, I connected accident with death. And then I started to cry, and I was like, oh my God. And I remember this to this day, oh my God, I'm dying now because we have an accident. I didn't, this is how a child is thinking at that moment. And I now know it was stupid. I was never in danger or anything. But as a child, you are different and you think different. You see the world so different. And this is what we have to understand. It's not about it's your fault or it's my fault or whose fault. It's about that was my reality. And that led me to think like I'm not enough, I'm not loved, I'm not seen, whatever. That's the point.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Um, I'd love to hear about how your Maasai work kind of plays into this. So for those people who don't know, Maasai is a tribe, and they're in Tanzania. And I've met some of them, like some of the people there years ago when I was in Tanzania, and incredible people. And people have actually studied Maasai. Because they have some of the best, the healthiest people. They have certain biomarkers that are really great. And they very much live like by the land, with the land, in nature. They are not a part of like, Western civilization. And so it's pretty profound going there and meeting them and like being a part of what they do. So how did you get involved with the Maasai, and why do you feel like that's actually something important for you to bring to your work?
It was actually, I think, like with almost all the people who meet them in Zanzibar, in Tanzania, although they are not originally from Zanzibar, so they just go there to work because they don't really like water, swimming. This is not their métier. So I went there and I met them. The first was Mango. He's still a very good friend, and I remember this very vividly. So we went on the Safari Blue, which is just a boat trip, and we were waiting at the harbor, and they told us to go to the right boat. And I saw this Maasai going on the left boat, and I was like, oh, I want to meet him. And then when I wanted to go on this boat, they said, no, you go left. And I was like, yes, inside, and that was the point. And it's like, this pivotal moment in my life. And then we started to talk, and he told me 12, his father had 12 wives, and he has over 100 siblings. And so from there on, we started to talk, and he showed me local food, and we went to parties on Zanzibar. And party with Maasai is really the best because they are so funny and so, I don't know, they have this energy, you know what I mean, they have this special energy, and they love life and this zest for life. And so and after 2 weeks I was crying, and I was like, oh my God, I have to come back. I never had this feeling before. And ever since, I'm moving back and forth. Of course, I met so many more. I've been to the mainland, and I've lived with them, and I just love it, and I learned so much from them.
I love what you said about them having a zest for life. I think that's like the perfect way to put it. And there's just this really intuitive groundedness that they have, where they're just happy and they feel like magnetic, like you want to be around them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
Exactly,
how do I
that's it.
get that in my life? Right? Yeah.
So it's also this. I don't know if you have met a group, but if you meet a group and you have to greet them when they are this young men, you have to greet them like Sopaya Morani, which means basically hi. Morani is the warrior. So hi Morani, hi warriors. And then they have to say Appa. They have to greet you with Appa. And they do it all together. And it is all the time. It doesn't matter if it's 2, 5, 10, 20. It's so, and this connection and this energy that they have. I get goosebumps all the time. I love it.
Oh, I love that. And so then, what do you feel like you learned from them that you have applied to your coaching practice?
So the number one thing is really to stop taking everything for granted, and to simplify my life. Because when I was there, they have nothing, and they are so happy. They are playing, the kids, for example, in the Boma, they are playing with this ball that they made out of just some fabric and they knotted it together somehow. And they are happy, they are laughing, they are not complaining all the time. I mean, we Austrians, we are so famous for complaining all the time. Either it's too hot or too cold and everything. And so this simplicity, slim down your life, look what you need and what you don't need. And this was the first thing that I learned from them. And also this connection between the people, because they talk to each other all the time. There is nobody who's just saying hi and then walking by and everything is gone. They always communicate. They're so, yeah, being connected with people is so important. And then when I went to the Maasai Boma and saw how connected they are with the earth, and waking up in the morning with the animals and going to sleep, because they have no solar power or no nothing. They have no electricity, most of them. And that was so, it helped me to reconnect with myself and with earth. And I think this is what we have lost in the Western world, because we are so computer and phone and this and that, and here's an appointment. And I don't know, we stop being humans because we all are working like robots. This is what I feel. And they taught me that it's different is better.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I've been feeling a lot of that in my own life as well. Is like, so we're exploring, where we want to spend our winters, maybe even more long term right now. And one of the places we're looking at is Nicaragua.
Yeah,
and it's just this idea of like, how do we be somewhere where it's more nature focused, it's healthier, there's more sunlight and warmth, and less like everything you said, less Amazon deliveries. But essentially, we're very much looking to like bring this into our life of like, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Mexico, and just everything that you said is so spot on. Of like, I want to live somewhere where I feel good about my life and happy, and not like, oh, let me buy something and be addicted to buying and online shopping to make myself feel better because I'm actually not happy with the life around me, right? And then you have the Maasai tribe who have way less than we do, like way less, and they're way happier. And it's like, okay, so how do I get to that point, So you are also the co-founder of Empower Her, which is a grassroots initiative supporting Maasai women and girls through health education, entrepreneurship, and even female genital mutilation. This is absolutely incredible. Please, can you tell us about why this was important for you and what you guys are doing in this space?
Okay, good. So when I went to the Maasai Boma, I also met the Maasai women, of course. And there was this one situation where my friend Jakob, he said to me, he has to go to the hairdresser, and you stay with the women and with the children. And so I was like, oh my God, what shall I do? I don't speak the language. But then this was such a beautiful experience. I mean, we didn't talk with languages, we talked with the hearts and with hand and feet and everything. And this was the first time I was so connected with the Maasai women. And on my next journey, I met this Maasai woman, and she's speaking English, so she's an English teacher. And then she was in Zanzibar, and we went really from woman group to woman group, and we were talking with them about sexuality, about all the things. So I asked, they asked, so it was really an open conversation. And then, of course, I learned that they get circumcised. They get circumcised at the age of around, 14, 15. It's some sort of retouch, passage, ritual thing. So basically, it's going from childhood or being a child to becoming a woman, and also a man, because the men do it as well. But for the men, it's just skin. And for the women, they cut out or cut away the clitoris. And some girls, after the procedure, they die because they are bleeding out. And of course, women, I mean, this is a very important part of our body, and it's not just about sexuality, it's about childbirth. It has so many things that are connected to it. Sometimes this wound that they create is not really healing in a good way, so they get infections or whatever. So it's really affecting women in a very difficult way, and men not. And when I heard that, my heart was breaking. As a woman, my heart is always breaking. And then I was talking to the guys. They explained to me, some told me, yeah, it's not a woman if she's not circumcised. And some told me, yeah, I wish this could stop because I saw women die or girls die. And so then with this Maasai woman that I told before, her name is Neema, she's a teacher, and then another Maasai, a man, Simon, who already has an organization. We created this Empower Her project. We are just at the beginning trying to get the funds, trying to get things going. And we want to educate them about their body, about health, about why to stop it. And also, because I do understand the cause of it. So it's the Maasai live in the bush, and so when something happens, they have to be strong. Their mind has to be strong, and this is also what we love about them. This is their energy. So I think part of it is enduring pain in order to be able to live their life, because they do everything, also the men, without any medication. So I was talking with them, and I thought maybe we can find another ritual, something that's painful as well, but not as impactful. And so together we are trying to raise money now and to get things going so we can start to stop it. Because in Kenya, the Maasai, they have stopped it a lot, not completely, but they are further. And so it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's incredible that that's happening in Kenya. Hopefully it trickles down to Tanzania as well. And I just love that you're actually working to do something about women's health beyond just like your coaching practice and where you're locally based out of. It's something that I'm actually looking at bringing in this year as well. Not Maasai tribes specifically, but I want to bring in a aspect of supporting women's longevity research and creating a foundation around that, because I just think it's important as women to give back and help other women as well. And so how do we bring that into our businesses? And I love that you are already doing that.
Yeah, it's so important. And actually, I'm giving everything that I can. Really, and I help them and I try. What I'm also thinking about is making, some sort of program where you support one person, for example, to send her to school so that she can work or whatever, for 1 or 2 years. And then, it's going to be easier. And also when you have this connection to this one person, you know where your money is going. I feel like the people would be more open to support it. So something like that, yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so we're going to hop off and we're going to go and answer some questions in my private community,
Yes.
the Long Her Life community. And I cannot wait for this. But for everyone listening on this podcast, if they want to connect with you, if they want to donate to Empower Her, how can they do that and where can they find you?
So I have a homepage. It's called simple-life-journey.com. And I also have my new homepage, after-awakening.com. So it's for the coaching. The Simple Life Journey is for the Maasai thing and for the travel, because I also organize travels to Zanzibar and Tanzania. And we don't only need money, we also would need people. So if there are retired women, teachers, whatever, who want to go to Tanzania and to help us teach English, teach mathematics, the basics. It's not like school, just teaching them read and write is also very important. Come, let's do it.
I love that. Oh, and I've been to Tanzania. If you haven't been, you got to go. It's just like,
yeah, it's so beautiful.
It's so incredible.
And so diverse. Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
And I'm open to that also for the coaching. Just reach out to me, DM me, whatever. I'm very open. And then let's find out. Yeah.
I love that. Perfect. Amazing. Okay. I will put that in the show notes so everyone can find you. Thank you for coming on. And let's answer some questions from my members. Okay. Thank you for listening to Biohacking with Brittany. I hope today's conversation gave you something to take into your own life, a practice, a perspective, or simply a reminder to trust your body. If you love this episode, please leave a review, share it with someone else who could benefit, and join me over on Instagram at biohackingbrittany for more. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can explore my retreats, community, favorite tools, all linked for you in the show notes. Until next time, remember, your body already knows.